Hello everyone, my name is Bryan and here's my take on the astrology during this Sagittarian new moon. I'll be describing the symbols through the lens of evolutionary astrology, where we recognize there's certain planetary alignments happening during this time, and they affect us as a collective but also in our own personal lives. And the goal here is to understand the energies and to really pinpoint the range of potentials connected to these templates, if you will, running through us. And knowing is half the battle. If we know what's going on, we can come from a place of present tense action instead of subconscious reaction. And when we do that, generally speaking, we can manifest the more, let's say, positive or powerful expression of these symbols instead of the more ego-based or forceful methods of using these symbols. So we're just going to be describing a range of potentials between light and dark so that we can exercise the superpower of our own free will and focused intent to be working with these energies in the way we choose to. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and bring up the chart. This is a Sagittarian new moon, which occurs on the 12th. I'm recording this on the 10th. But the new moon phase will continue on about 3 or 4 days after the technical new moon event. And here we are looking at this new moon in Sagittarius. We're very much in the Sagittarian season. And as you can see, it's aligned here with Mars. We're going to have to take a strong look at that. And all three of these planets are in a square aspect to Neptune and Pisces over here on the right side of the chart, as you can see. And the other event of note is that you have both the so-called benefic planets in aspect to each other through the opposition. We'll also have to integrate that too. This new moon has a lot of fire energy associated with it. You know, the Sun, Moon, Mars, all in the fire sign of Sagittarius. The Sun likes fire for obvious reasons. It's quite strong when it's in a fire sign. Mars is also strong when it's in a fire sign because it has a natural affinity with the sign of Aries. Of course, it's not in Aries, it's in Sag, but Aries is a fire sign too. So this is a very powerful combination of planets here. And fire signs and fire energy is about action. Again, not so much about reaction, but action. If we come from a place of reaction with these symbols, it tends to manifest as more, let's say, impulsive behavior, which can get us into trouble from time to time. And Sag specifically is a sign that is custom designed to make really interesting mistakes. And the reason why Sag, for you Sages out there, part of your life path is to make really interesting mistakes. Why? So you can learn from them. Sagittarius is the symbol of raw experience. And if you go out and seek fresh experience and newness and try to break up established patterns of behavior, of course you're going to make more mistakes than the average bear because you're going towards the horizon line, seeing what you can learn, and you're not good at it yet or you haven't experienced it yet. So Sagittarius, when we talk about the impulsivity or the tripping hazard with Sag, is making mistakes. They're classic for foot and mouth moments and really acting before one thinks. Even Mars, the war god, is known to be quite impulsive, especially when it's in a fire sign. You know, those warriors can just leap into battle before they've really thought about it. So, you know, Mars, at least on the shadow side, is vulnerable to headstrong idiocy, you know. So it's important to be cautious about some of the choking hazards with this set of energies, but we also don't want to let the evolutionary opportunities slip away. We'll talk about how these energies can get us into trouble, at least with the collective, how we might see it manifest out on the world stage. But just on a personal level, it's a good idea to be more engaged with life and to learn. This is something I said in the last video. A good way to think about this is how can I pack the experience of a week or two into these next, 5 or 6 days? How can I break up routine? How can I break up the mundane? Warrior in the sign of Sagittarius, the gypsy, maybe some traveling. It's a great season for traveling, the Sagittarian season, especially if that traveling involves some adventure, because ultimately Mars is about facing your fears. Why? To become braver and stronger than you were before. So Mars in Sagittarius does have this, let's sit around the campfire and tell fun stories, and the next day we'll hike a tall mountain together and we'll have a good time. It does have this feeling of adventure to it. So you can ask yourself the evolutionary question: in my life, do I feel a bit stuck and bored? Or where in my life do I feel stuck and bored? And then what am I going to do about it? Is there an adventure I need to have? Maybe that adventure is literally moving your body and having a cross-cultural experience, even if it's going to the next town where the culture is a little different, or if it's something, more far-reaching. And of course, a lot of people are traveling for the holidays now, so that fits the symbolism too. But you can also ask yourself the question, can I do something exciting or thrilling? Face my fears through some adventure. It's a good season, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, in some countries, to go skiing. That's a beautiful Mars and Sagittarian activity. This is also a good time to be more proactive in terms of your learning and education, because Sagittarian energy is also known as the scholar archetype. So there may be a broadening of horizons, not just, cross-culturally, geographically, but intellectually as well. It's like, oh, there's something I've been interested in recently, some new subject. I think I'm going to dive in head first, see what I can learn. Sagittarius is also known as the philosopher archetype, the sign of religion. And here it is. This is really strong in this event because, these 3 planets in Sag are in a tight square aspect to Neptune in Pisces, which does have a very spiritual influence. Now, squares can be challenging, okay, but all aspects are about integration. This new moon in Sag and Mars wants to integrate in a powerful way the energy of Neptune in Pisces. It's just a little bit more tricky or difficult because it happens to be a hard angle, a 90-degree angle being the square. And all this adventurous energy down here at the bottom of the chart, interacting with this strong mystic archetype, Neptune in Pisces, makes me think of the spiritual quest or developing one's own spiritual warrior. And the spiritual quest, you see it in literature all the time or in movies where the main character leaves the realm of the familiar, really the tyranny of the familiar, Sag style, and embraces the unknown, okay? Goes through a massive spurt of learning by going on a long adventure or a long journey, like Frodo finding his courage, facing the darkest of evil. And that event through Lord of the Rings, it changed Frodo. He was a different hobbit at the end of the rainbow, so much so he couldn't return to the Shire. He had to go on to other adventures. The quest changes us. So what is the quest that's really emphasized here with the philosopher interacting with the mystic? Meanwhile, the warrior is here. It's about seeking something out there that changes one within. And also, it's the quest really to find meaning in life. Isn't there something I'm meant to do? Isn't there something I'm meant to be? These are beautiful questions to ask during this Sagittarian moon. What is my place? What is my soul? Do I have a soul? I imagine a lot of my audience would be very spiritual people. So asking deep spiritual and philosophical questions, getting to know your soul on a deeper level by entering into meditative states. That's pure Neptune in Pisces. So entering into meditation, and I'm going to share a meditation at the end of this video that really resonates with these energies. If you want to do that, you're welcome to. Or just any form of meditation that you like. So entering into different levels of consciousness is a powerful way of working with this, invoking the spiritual warrior. It also, this variety of energies makes me think of the need of going on a pilgrimage. Really, this whole month of December has been the month of pilgrimage. This is stuff I've talked about in the last video because we're in Sagittarian season. Neptune's right nearby, okay? So it is important to go on that questing energy in whatever way suits you best. Now, of course, this is a square, so it will be quite easy to mess up with this, or to get it wrong. And we'll see this primarily on the world stage with big events occurring and people getting it wrong. I mean, I know we have some major stuff going on in the world and wars and whatnot. And, this energy can be quite dark as well. With, Mars, the war god, and the sign of the religion. This can manifest as fanatical belief systems or religious zealotry, and, especially it's strengthened by the square to the mystic, but also on the negative side of Neptune, it deals with delusion and illusion and mirages and deception. So, people being very combative, that's Mars energy, around what they believe. Sagittarius in a very egocentric way, that's the sun, and they're very heart passionate about these ideas. And dogmatic beliefs are, at least in part, ignorance, because we can't possibly know what's going on. It's fun to think about through the philosophical vein, that's part of Sag, but whenever we try to conceptualize God or God consciousness, it turns from God to fantasy. So whenever somebody feels like they have the one truth, they know it all, they're going to be at odds with other people that aren't in alignment with those beliefs, oftentimes. Not always, but it's very common. So this religious, fanatical energy is quite strong now. But this is a weaker, let's say, response to these energies. This stems from ego and pride and fear and anger. Working on it with a personal level, sure, you can know that's going on out there in the world, and just it'll give you like a certain layer of understanding as to why some of this reactivity in the world is manifesting in this more destructive way. But in a personal level, it's all about the quest. It's all about adventure. It's about facing your fears. It's about exploring consciousness. A beautiful metaphor for this event would be something like learning a new technique, learning, that's a very Sagittarian activity, regarding meditation techniques that involve inner and outer exploration. Makes me think of like remote viewing or astral projection or lucid dreaming, where you can go on martial warrior, spiritual warrior adventures, leveraging the superpower of meditative states. Now, those are very advanced techniques, and they require, quite a lot of work and consistency using the meditations or whatnot to gain a level of efficacy at it. But this is about new beginnings, ultimately. That's what new moons are. So when a new moon happens over the next, 5 or so days, think to yourself, what is a new beginning I can create? What's a new spiritual adventure that will create the spiritual warrior within? And this is one of the most powerful ways of working with this template. As I said, you also have Jupiter opposite Venus. These are classically known as the Benefics. Venus is known as the lesser Benefic. Mars is known as the greater Benefic. Here they are trying to integrate with each other. This makes me think of the holiday seasons that we're in. Venus and Jupiter are just sweetheart of planets, right? And they have beautiful energy, but they can also get us into trouble, especially with the opposition. And when these two planets interact, there is this sense of let's eat, drink, and be merry, because Jupiter does have that larger than life quality, the planet of expansion. Venus is the planet of relationships and connection, and it also likes the finer things in life. Even Jupiter is in the sign of the body and the sign of food. So how this can get us into trouble is, yes, expansion, but too much of a good thing becoming a bad thing and leads to an expansion of one's waistline, where Sagittarian says, yeah, let's go all in, because Sag does have this quality of let's roll the dice. It's a bit of a gambler energy, especially with the fear-facing Mars, this pioneering spirit. It's like, okay, let's live for today and worry about tomorrow later, that sort of energy. So, I'm not going to get too caught up on this Jupiter opposition to Venus, other than recognizing that just to recognize this is going on during the holidays and just maybe reel it back a little bit and fully enjoy your family, those you love, the events, the food, the exchange of gifts, whatever it may be, and to connect with that and to eat, drink, and be merry. But just don't put yourself in a position where you end up regretting it later would be the advice, where you want to apply some caution, let's say. When we get this energy right, it can really be quite fun, as long as we don't get caught into the shadow side of the impulsivity with Mars in Sagittarius, or the headstrong, combative ideologies. That can be a tripping hazard as well. But this energy can be quite fun. It's a time of celebration and connection with those you love, and just asking yourself that evolutionary question: what is this new beginning? What is this new adventure I can have as I develop my internal spiritual warrior? These are the core evolutionary intentions, with the goal being to expand our consciousness. Now we're going to transition into the guided meditation. I do use a technology called binaural beats, so I do recommend headphones for best results. Enjoy. Begin by focusing on your breath, and your awareness follows the inhale through your nose into your belly and then your lungs, and then exhale. Nice, slow breathing. And as you inhale, you feel your upper body expand, all the tissues expand. And as you exhale, feel the relaxation. Letting go of any stress, surrendering into the process of going within. And now bring your awareness down through your legs, all the way to your feet. Feel as though you're in both your feet. And visualize a beautiful sky blue color in both of your feet. And slowly on the next inhale, see the sky blue color go up to the ankles. And then up into the calf area. And now into the knees. And as you visualize the blue color, feel all the tissues in your legs soften and let go. And now up into the thighs. And into the hips. And now focus on both of your legs, from the bottom of your feet all the way up to your hips. And visualize them in that sky blue color, in and around your legs. This color has a very calming effect. And now the color enters your pelvic floor and comes up the lower back to the middle back, into the upper back and scapula, and up and over your shoulders, and then comes down your chest and into your solar plexus. See it in your liver and your spleen. And now into the abdomen. And back down to the pelvic floor. And on the next inhale, bring the blue color back up towards the shoulders. And on the exhale, see it flow down both your arms to the elbows, wrists, hands, all the way to the fingertips. And on the next inhale, it goes from the fingertips back up towards the shoulders and into the neck and up into the head. And now spread your awareness throughout your entire body and feel your body and see this sky blue color. On the next inhale, you see the blue color grow brighter. And on the exhale, you relax even more. And now move your attention down to the solar plexus and visualize a beautiful emerald green color shining bright like a jewel in your solar plexus. And with each inhale, this green jewel glows brighter, shines in all directions. You're breathing in strength to your subconscious. And continue this visualization with the emerald green jewel for a few more breaths. Now slowly let the colors fade. And I want you to visualize that you're sitting in front of this beautiful bonfire. And you're looking into the fire, and you're just in awe of the beauty as you watch the dancing flames. You can feel the warmth on your face and your body. The energy of fire is purifying, it cleanses. And as you're sitting in front of the fire, I want you to think back over the last month or so about some of the repetitive thought patterns that you would like to dissolve and transform. They can be emotions too. any thought or emotion that helped create more fear within you, or grief, or pain, or stress, or division. Helped you to get caught up in the illusion of separateness and divided you from your true nature of divinity. And look at these with a detached observation. Don't feed them energy, just see them for what they are. Any judgment towards yourself or others. Anything low consciousness that you'd like to change. And then visualize your etheric hand reaching in to your stomach area and just pulling these thought forms or emotional forms out. You can visualize it as pulling out like a black oil or smoke or something like this, and just pull it out with your etheric hand and just toss it into the fire. You're letting it go. And you notice as you throw it into the fire responds. It grows a bit brighter and stronger as it purifies. And then the black energy you were throwing in, you see rise above the flames as a white energy. And then you breathe this white, pure, etheric vitality into your lungs and chest where it enters your heart. This is your energy. You created it. We're just transforming it back into love and light. So you throw the blackness into the fire and breathe in the white into your heart. Out with the black, in with the white. Out with the black, in with the white. Release, dis-ease, transform, reborn. Release, dis-ease, transform, reborn. Release, dis-ease, transform, reborn. And continue with this visualization. Just let it all go. Bring it in transmuted. Continue this visualization for a couple more minutes, and then I'll come back. Release, dis-ease, transform, reborn. And now slowly let the fire fade. and you return your attention to the green jewel in your solar plexus. Seeing it more perfect, almost as if you removed some flaws from the jewel. And then bring your attention up to the chest area. And visualize a beautiful pink color in and around your chest, with a small golden sun at the center. And on your next inhale, see that pink with the golden sun glow as brightly as you can imagine. And now remember an experience that you really loved, where you felt great pleasure and joy and happiness. Remember how beautiful that was, as you feel a smile in your heart. And say some words of love to your heart. And now expand your awareness throughout your entire body. And now visualize your whole body shining in a beautiful white light, as a star being, shining in all directions. And as the music begins to fade, very slowly, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch your body. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes.